Kwab, what the was that? The Indiana Pacers beat the Milwaukee Bucks 115 to 114 on a post route out touchdown.
Fade to the corner.
Fade to the corner from Tyrese Haliburton. Let's go to the box score first. 115-114. Pascal Siakam, 25 and 12. Mathurin had 17 points. Tyrese, 14-10 and a prayer answered. With the Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 19 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists. Brook Lopez had 23 and 7, and Dame, 15 and 11. These two teams are now tied in the standings for fourth place in the Eastern Conference. What a wild game. It was a fun game to watch. Neither team particularly impressed me, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But you can also see why these teams are playoff teams. These are solid teams. All right, Kwab, let's start with the Pacers first. They won the game.
Yep.
They won the game. They needed a prayer from Tyrese Haliburton. Now that the Bucks had this game, I wouldn't say in the bag, but this was a game that the Pacers were up by 10, and that lead got erased really quickly. They started missing shots. I thought they played overall a really good game. They pushed the tempo a lot. They were able to turn over the Bucks starting from the end of the first quarter on. They killed them in fast break points. I mean, just absolutely murdered them. In fact, I think it was 31-3 or some wild stuff like that. And to me, that's the Indiana Pacer team that I think is dangerous in the Eastern Conference. That's the Indiana Pacer team, regardless of what you want to say about injuries giving them a path to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the Indiana Pacer team that gave the Boston Celtics a hard time in the Eastern Conference Finals, despite of how that series turned out. You talk to any Boston Celtic fan or any Celtic for that matter, they tell you the Pacers are probably the toughest matchup they had all playoffs. And to me, that's when they're most dangerous. And they're also the most dangerous when Tyrese Haliburton actually gets involved and starts shooting the basketball, which he started to do, in the fourth quarter. He didn't really have a big scoring game, but when he's a threat to shoot the basketball, when he's aggressive like that, that's when this team really takes off for me. Obi didn't really have a good game. I didn't really see much from the bench. I think TJ finally had a good game. The last few games that I watched the Pacers, TJ really hasn't really been all that great. Mathurin was great off the bench. They felt kind of thin today for some reason. I don't really know why. Maybe because Tyrese wasn't as aggressive as I wanted to be. But Pascal Siakam, man, he's somebody who last year in the playoffs against the Bucks, he was a big reason why they advanced. And again today, I thought was their best player. Do you think, going forward, with the Knicks missing Brunson, that this team could maybe sneak into that 3 spot, maybe take the 4 spot from the Bucks and be a threat in the East?
It's a possibility. I mean, it's like, what are they, 5 games away? That aside, I mean, I feel like the Knicks should be talented enough to kind of like just coast without Brunson until he comes back.
Yeah.
But with the Pacers, every time we talk about the Pacers, we make the point that if their defense shows up, they're good money. Because we always expect them in terms of them being able to generate points through their fast break. Usually they generate a lot of points through their three-point shooting. They didn't shoot that well this game.
No, they actually that's the reason why the Bucks would have come back. I mean, they missed open threes.
Yeah, which doesn't usually happen. And it was a lot of missed open threes actually. So, which is surprising. But you guys can, if you feel like going back, you can go back and check. Josh always made the point when he saw the Pacers play live. He was very impressed with your defense because he was like, the Pacers have always had the reputation of not being a good defensive team, and there were moments this game, especially I think. Yes, the shot. Everybody's gonna see the shot and be like, yeah, that's why they won. But they made a lot of key plays defensively in order to get some run outs, some tip outs to help them with this victory. Like you said, T.J. McConnell finally had a good game, and I think he's one of, again, I always find these not niche, but these bench players that I always harp on, and T.J.'s always been a player I'll harp on because. Him coming off the bench, giving you 12 points, and funny enough, TJ's one of the players that you know what he's going to do, and he still gets it done.
And annoy the shit out of you. That's what he's gonna do.
He's gonna play defense. He's gonna.
I hate him, and I love him. That's a compliment. I hate him.
Yeah,
that means I love you.
He's the type of player that you would want on your team.
Oh my God! If T.J. McConnell was a Knick, I would. Oh.
But to me, T.J. McConnell is a backup point guard that he doesn't shoot threes. He's either going to get to the rim or pull up in the mid-range and play defense that his ass off the whole time, and he always gives them a change of pace anytime he comes in the game, and I think that's a big factor. I think your bench was kind of like you have was Thomas Bryant coming off the bench for 10 points.
Yeah,
TJ and Ben Mathurin. That's I'm always gonna harp on the fact that if a team has consistent play from their bench, it's going to make a difference moving forward. Like that's gonna make a difference for you.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just it feels like I don't know why, but when I think of the Pacers, I feel like they're deeper than what I've seen. Like they went 10 deep today.
Yeah.
8 really only had an impact, but I feel like a lot of times when I watch the Pacers, it's like at any given moment, like 10 players like
Yeah,
are doing their thing.
I don't know if he was injured. If Pacers fans, you can let us know because I wasn't sure. Like Jarris Walker.
Walker, yeah.
Yeah, he's always been a big factor.
No, he didn't play coaches this season.
Yeah, that's crazy. Usually, depending on games, like you can get like a big impact from like Obi Toppin off the bench also.
Right.
But like this game, like you said, Siakam, great game by Siakam. Like this is why they made the trade for him. Like stuff like this, like getting you able to get 25 points, like good amount of shooting, rebounding, defense. This is why you'd want to make a trade. You make that trade for a player like that. Haliburton's numbers his shooting numbers weren't like exactly like that high. You still see like his impact as a passer and him still being able to hit that ridiculous clutch shot. Like that's a ridiculous game winner. And did he, in your opinion, did he get fouled? Because I
didn't think he got fouled at all, bro.
Okay, I was.
And then they reviewed it, and Scott Foster was like, well, you didn't give him a place to land. Well, it's like the man kamikaze into the bench. I didn't think it was a foul, but it is what it is. I thought it was an amazing shot. I mean, there's nothing you can do to take away from the shot. But I didn't think he got fouled at all. I'm surprised he shot it that way. I mean, you still had 3 seconds. I understand that you're worried about the Bucks fouling you right away, but, like, to take a shot like that is insane. And it's even more insane that it went in. It was like one of the most improbable game winners I've seen in a really long time.
And for somebody that like takes a while to like load his shot, like
yeah,
that's probably one of the quickest like Tyrese Haliburton jumpers I've ever seen.
It's just unbelievable, man. And how about the formation, man? You got four wide receivers, and it's just like, how do you guard that?
Hey, man, hey,
you can't run like cover 2.
The only way that this would have ended was in that game winner. Like it felt like the only way that shot going in that way. After that,
I watched them lining up. I'm like, there's no way.
There's no way it's gonna.
None of this is gonna work. Like, what is this? What are we doing?
And it worked. It worked. In your opinion, how far do you think the Pacers can get in the playoffs?
Semifinals. I can't see them beating a Cavs team. I can't see them beating the Celtics, and that's a team they're going to have to run into in the second round. You know, if things stay the same, even if they're the 3 seed, let's say they catch the Knicks, you're going to have to play the Celtics in the second round.
Yeah.
So unless, and again, I don't say this to be a dick to Pacer fans, but unless like they make it to the second round and then like the same thing happens to the Cavs that happened to the Knicks, where the Cavs are going to miss half of their roster, then I don't see them advancing past the second round. But I could see them beating the Bucks in the first round for sure.
Do you think that because of, I guess, like the narrative of the injuries and what happened last year, do you think that the Pacers are being underrated?
No, I don't actually. I think they're properly rated.
Okay.
I do. I think a lot of people recognize them for who they are. I think the identity or the reputation of that they're terrible defensively has kind of subsided.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty good defensively for a while now. And I also do think that, like, even though they got swept against the Celtics last year, the main, like, narrative from that series was like, hey, it was a sweep, but, like, we had our hands full type with the Celtics.
They should have won a couple.
Yeah, so I think people do respect the Celtics, and I do think the Pacers, and I do think that people know how good they are. But I think it's a healthy rating of them. I don't think anyone thinks they're better than the Knicks, the Bucks. I mean, not the Bucks, the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Cavs.
You don't think so? You don't think they're better than the Knicks?
I don't. But if they were to play the Knicks, and they were to beat the Knicks, it wouldn't surprise me because I don't know who the Knicks can guard. I have no faith in the Knicks this year. I don't at all. So,
Fair.
But I don't think they're going to face the Knicks in the second round. I don't think that's just not how it's going to happen. Because the Celtics and Cavs are 1 and 2, so that you're going to have to face one of those in the second round. The Milwaukee Bucks ran all through Giannis, which I thought was fine. You know, Gary Trent Jr. hit some big threes. I'm kind of worried, and again, this is coming from somebody who admits I haven't watched a lot of Bucks basketball this year. So Bucks fans in the comments, let me know like where I'm going wrong with this.
Please pay attention to the disclaimer he just gave out, people. Please pay attention to the disclaimer.
I feel like if I was the coach, Doc Rivers, I would be running more offense with both Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, pick and rolls, maybe Dame one pass away more. I feel like that is the whole reason why you got Dame, to make teams choose between Dame and Giannis in these type of situations. And don't get me wrong, running the offense to Giannis is fantastic. I think he did a great job of finding the open man. He had a fantastic pass to Gary Trent Jr. in the corner that gave him the lead briefly there in the fourth quarter. But I just feel like there's a lot left on the table when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks when I watch them play. It's like you have one of the greatest point guards in the game. You have Giannis, one of the best players in the game. You do have great role players. And it just still seems like something's missing there. I think the addition of Kyle Kuzma has helped. He's a really good cutter. You know, when you get the ball out of his hands and he doesn't have to be the number one option, number two option, you kind of put him in the corner. He kind of like rover around and do like the little things, which I think he's really good at. Kevin Porter Jr., right?
Yep.
Kevin Porter Jr. has been a good addition as well. They seem more athletic with Jericho Sims. Like the Bucks don't seem as old to me. Like I think that was a big problem with the team that I was watching early in the year. It's like, yeah, they're good, but they just kind of feel old and slow. And I think they've addressed that. So just right off the bat, watching them today, I was like, okay, this team they feel younger, more athletic, which I think is good. But at the end of the day, I don't know how I feel about their late game offense if this is what it's going to be. Now, if you're a Bucks fan and you watch Bucks basketball every day and this is not what it is every day, that's fine. Let me know. But I wanted to get your opinion on that, Kwab, because that's what stood out to me the most watching this game.
Yeah. Their late game offense was like, apart from those who play was the 2-man game was Dame and Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it kind of worked because it ended up getting Dame a layup. He ended up missing it, but it was able to get to the rim. But it felt like the late game offense was the 2-man game was more Giannis and Taurean Prince. And like you said, Giannis was making plays. He didn't take I don't think he took a shot in the fourth.
The last shot's the only shot he took.
Yeah, which I mean, that could be credit to the Pacers defense also, because they established like a little bit of the wall that everybody says and kind of wanted to get the ball out of Giannis's hands. But we've been saying this since I guess the trade, when the trade happened with Dame going to Milwaukee. We were like, okay, well, on paper, you get Dame, who's a great pick and roll player as a point, and you have Giannis, who is an unstoppable force when he's going downhill, and you pair these two up together, that 2-man pick and roll game is going to be ridiculous. Yeah. And we kept saying it's going. And then last year, it really wasn't that evident. Like it wasn't there as much. And I don't think we saw this game as much also, especially late in the game. I think that's been something we've been like, I think the simple view we have of it is like we would spam the pick and roll. Like, yeah. or spam the 2-man game in terms of like, not essentially even not pick and roll. Maybe if it's just them setting off ball screens for each other, just them being involved in the play every single time to make a defense like, you got to make a choice. Are you gonna switch? Are you gonna try to defend two of the greatest players, top 75 players in the game to make like? What choice are you gonna make? We would end up doing like in our minds we're like, yeah, we'd spam it. So when it's not happening and we're watching it, we're kind of like, why?
Right.
Why not?
I mean, I guess Dame didn't really have it going today.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be something. Dame only had 15 points. He had 11 in the second half though.
Yeah.
But Dame is still someone who, especially in the first half, you saw there. I mean, he finished with 11 assists.
Yeah.
So he can create for others off the dribble. So he can make things happen as well. You're not losing playmaking if you take the ball out of Giannis's hands. And I think that's what confuses me too, because yeah, Giannis can find people in the post and he can find people when he's driving to the hoop. But Dame can do the same thing in the pick and roll, and he's a better shooter. So with the ball in Dame's hands at the end, you're kind of extending the floor because now the defense kind of has to guard 30 feet out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing with the Bucks that I don't really get. But I was encouraged to see the athleticism, I guess the youth that seem to be brought in since the trade deadline. They do seem like they're a better team now than they were to start the year.
We also understand like this is all happening, especially with the Bucks. They don't have Bobby Portis because of the suspension that's happened. So
free Bobby Portis.
Free Bobby Portis.
Free Bobby. Is he guilty? I don't know. He probably did that shit.
I don't think. No, I don't think he did. I believe, I believe Bobby, guys. I believe. So I don't.
Then free him.
Free him. So that's also a factor. But like to your point you made earlier, like yes, with the moves they've made, they felt more athletic. In some instances, they've looked faster, and even with this game, it feels like they should have won.
Yeah.
Like they have been winning. They have been quietly winning throughout the course of the year. Like, and it's been like it's not really been talked about. But this is the game we picked to finally like watch the Bucks, and we're just like, hey, we want more Dame, we want more Giannis. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of figured that's what it was going to be.
Yeah.
The Bucks were obviously built to win it all. Like, this isn't a team that's like, let's get to the playoffs, and we did a great job. And then they traded Chris Middleton, who was a beloved Buck, probably going to have his name in the rafters when his career's over, for Kyle Kuzma. They've made moves to signify we're going after it. They're going to face the Pacers in the first. Like, the way it's looking, it looks like it's going to be Pacers-Bucks first round. Hypothetically, they play the Pacers. Can you see them knocking off the Cavaliers in the semifinals and even making it to the Eastern Conference Finals? Forget winning the East. Can they go past the second round?
Part of me wants to say yes.
Really?
Part of me wants to say yes, but as inconsistent as they have been last year and even this year, it's kind of hard to kind of make that. Make that declaration. But like the Cavs have been too good this year. The Celtics have been too good this year. So it's kind of like in our minds we're like, is those two teams, and good luck to the rest of y'all.
I mean, is that wrong?
No, it's not wrong. It's just been the case. It's just been the case. But it's just like, and when I say part of me, like a little small part of me wants to be like, well, you still have Giannis, you still have Dame, you have these pieces, but it's like, but you have Doc Rivers, and so so it's like I don't, you know what I mean. So that's the part that's like I'm like I don't know. I feel like coming into the season, people probably had them ranked like as a number 2 or 3 team.
Yeah.
After the Celtics, right? And also the Sixers were probably in the picture too. But we all seen how that season ended. But it's just like you have 2 of the best players in the league. Are they in? And again, Bucks fans, if you're in the comments, please like let us know. Are they being utilized the right way throughout the course of the season, in your opinion? Like, you guys feel like they're being used the right way? Is there something that's still lacking for your team where you kind of see, hey, this is still a problem? Is it just as simple as bringing Thanasis back, as I've been saying?
Yes, bring him back, baby.
As I've been saying for this long time. Like, what is that?
Listen, you said that to start the year. They brought him back at least like in a let's put him in the building capacity, and they started playing better. And
they won the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
I think that's the part of me that's like, okay, well, the NBA Cup was like the mini playoffs, and you saw how serious that team looked.
Yeah, and they embarrassed the Thunder.
And they ran through. So that's what always been that's the part of me that's like I don't know when it comes to the Bucks. What's your opinion when it comes to the Bucks?
It's funny because I do think they have a high ceiling. I just think it takes so much to get to that ceiling. Like, you know, for the Cavs and Celtics to get to the ceiling, it's just like, I walk inside my apartment, I take the elevator, I'm at my ceiling. For the Bucks, it's like, I got to hop on this chair, I got to jump on this counter, then I got to swing across the room, then I got to climb this ladder, then I got to do a backflip onto a catwalk, then I have to take a rope. Like, that's what it feels like. But the Bucks
but the problem, like, you're right, but doesn't it kind of confuse you? Because when you look at the team, the roster, you're like, it shouldn't be this hard.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't be this like ridiculous for you guys to be like a top team, but it's been like this the whole year.
They should at least be in the conversation with the Knicks, and I don't even feel like they're there yet. If I'm being honest with you, and that's saying something coming from a Knicks fan who doesn't think the Knicks are that good.
Okay, but my counter to that is like, are they, and you're just not being talked about? Is that a possibility?
No.
Because we've been saying that you're still quietly winning.
Yeah, but I watched the Knicks kick the crap out of them like a month ago. Like, this
Fair
team
enough.
doesn't. I mean, listen, they could be. I mean, the playoffs are funny, man. I mean, we've watched the Heat And we joke around Heat culture, but we watched the Heat come out of nowhere and make the finals. Like, it could happen. And we watched the Pacers make the Eastern Conference Finals. The playoffs can be funny.
Yeah.
I think their ceiling is there. I just don't know how they get to it. It just, and again, like, I'm going to trust a team like the Celtics. I'm going to trust a team like the Cavs who've been doing it all year.
Yeah.
And who have, frankly, been together longer than this Bucks team.
Fair, yeah. Chemistry, and continuity always make a difference.
Yeah. All right, well, the Milwaukee Bucks lose to the Indiana Pacers 115-114 on an incredible game winner from Tyrese Haliburton. We did it, Kwab. We did a Bucks game, baby.
We did. We're gonna do another one.
We'll do another one. We had a comment saying that we need to do a Jazz game soon, and I think one day before the season's over, we're gonna surprise y'all with a ridiculous game. I don't know what that game's gonna be.
Who made that comment?
Devon.
Shout out to him because he's been consistently in the comments always giving us props. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate you always checking out the videos, always leaving comments. I don't know what Jazz game we're gonna check out, but it's gonna have to happen because we still don't know what the hell the hell's going on in Utah. Jazz Hornets.
Listen, if you want to follow Dime, you can't ever get to Dime NBA. I'm Josh at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, a.k.a. Yes. Tomorrow, Celtics Thunder.
Big game.
So stay tuned for that. We're also going to do a full episode. I promise you we'll do a full episode soon. I promise you.
We might even do one tonight.
We'll
you don't even
find out.
We might go crazy. You never know.
All right, everybody. We'll see you then. Peace.